I should hate this car. It means I have to think about every single journey. It means I've got to contact my energy supplier. It means getting a smart meter installed. I've got to dig up the garden, and there's only one cup holder. But all of that doesn't really matter. Should we find out why?
Thank you for calling Polestar Assistance.
This thing's brilliant. It reminds me of when people were passionate about cars. What does that mean? Now, what do you think? Will it stop? That's the question. Face the camera. You've been to drama school. I won't go on about the looks because everyone knows these are the greatest looking cars possibly in the world. These, though, are very good. I will go on about these. There are 98 LEDs in these headlights and a camera, and what that does is creates a magical light show as you drive along. This is mesmerizing. As you're on a dark road, you almost look for the darker road so that it will do all these amazing things. It's almost like driving something that is alive, like an intelligent organism. And it's the small things as well, slowest window in the world. It's things like the coloured seatbelts. This one doesn't have the coloured seatbelts, but as you can see here, these are the yellow seatbelts. And I think that manufacturers should spend more time thinking about seatbelt fashion. Let's be honest, seatbelt is not an afterthought, is it? It's the difference between being alive and being on BBC Crash Detectives. And so therefore, they should be more prominent.
On the subject of prominence, you will have seen many of these on the road. That's because everyone knows they're good, but mostly because Polestar bought all of the adverts on Facebook. And that's just the beginning. Soon, they plan to sponsor the moon.
I'm going to press this connect button, see what it does.
Thank you for calling Polestar Assistance.
What if I ran out of battery?
So if you were to run out of battery, that's something that we would assist with and kind of recover you to the nearest charging point.
Thank you very much for your help.
To find out if I'm going to need them, a real-world trip is coming up to check if what it says on the screen is actually what you get. Before that, a few more things that I like.
Firstly, when you look at this interface, it's the things that are important to me. This, in compared to every other electric car, is absolutely brilliant. Look at these options. So, YouTube, the Google Maps, the use of orange in marketing terms is supposed to be young and vibrant and welcoming. And look at this font. This font is called Unica 77. Now, all of this is designed by a man called Ruben Rodriguez. And here he is. Here's his beard. Here again is Unica 77. Makes me feel something, that font. And if you don't believe fonts actually make you feel something, have a look at this font. Oh, by the way, this is creep mode, which is a very good Polestar thing. So what this does is, if you switch that on, what it will do is it will text girls in the middle of the night. This is the obligatory bush test, and what I'm going to do is show you how this car will not allow me to reverse into this bush. Now you have to go at a reasonable speed for it to do it. I call it the net breaker. Here we go. Will it stop? That's the question. Very good. Here's a real world range test for you. 58%, 170 miles. That works out at, without using grok, 310 miles. I actually get a sense of trust with Polestar and Volvo. I know that they're not really connected anymore, but it's very strange. You find yourself not looking at the battery as much as you would in another electric car.
And there's only one way to test this theory, by doing a real journey.
So here's the state of play. 50% range, 150 miles. And the journey is 75 miles and 1 hour and 44 minutes. Will it do it? It says I don't need to charge on the way there. So let's see how accurate that is.
First stop, coffee for the trip. And that's just for me, because there's only one cup holder. Then a check on how the battery management stacks up on the motorway. That's where I test the pilot assist and explain later why it's brilliant. So far so good. The only thing that does require energy is me. And with my new channel video budget completely blown on a Starbucks, the only thing in here I could afford was a wrap of the day.
$1.99.
44 grams of carbohydrates were all I needed for the next leg, whereas the car with superior thermodynamics was converting energy much more efficiently. If you're wondering, yes, our motorways are always this quiet. You should visit. Many people do. That's why a lot of people come here, I think, because of the driving, isn't it?
Okay, success. We have arrived. 24%, so I've gained 4%. I've still got 70 miles left. I can't get back. But let's have a look at our economy with this range assistant, which gives you the average, which is 20.5 kilowatts per 100 miles.
All I need to do now is steal some of my friend's electricity and hope that he's on OVOs anytime. And if he's not, tough.
Always worth mentioning in the Polestar, of course, this very famous back, which you will have seen. There's millions of them on the road, and it is a testament to how progressive the Chinese are. That might not be a very popular thing to say, but we have to remember the Chinese have invented an awful lot of really useful things: the compass, gunpowder, paper and printing, and in this case a reversing light that's so small nobody can see. But I don't care.
That's because this car also has one of the best autopilot systems I've tested, and it is similar in some ways technology-wise as this car, this very brilliant electric car, which when I had it forgot how to do radar cruise until the over-the-air updates put it right, which was a relief for me and the lorry.
So, real-world test of the pilot assist. Press that button once, it brings on pilot assist. So it's adaptive cruise control with a bit of steering. A couple of things about this system which I like. The first is, as you can see, it's steering for me at the moment and monitoring the distance using the radar in the smart part of the car. There's my hands on the steering wheel warning, and then there's cameras up there, and the role of the cameras is for the speed limits and the road markings. One thing I do like is that if you just hold on to the steering wheel just gently, you can feel the car continues to steer, and it's moving your hand. A lot of cars don't do that. A lot of cars mean that you have to actually squeeze the wheel to re-engage so that it thinks you're paying attention. But this is brilliant because I could probably do an entire journey just holding onto the wheel like that. What it won't do is automatically change the speed limit when you're going in and out of different speed limit zones. What it will do instead is automatically limit your speed using the pedal. So I'm going to re-engage the pedal now, and if this was a 60 and I did 61, then the pedal wouldn't allow me to go any faster. One thing they all come with is this sticker, so it looks nice, and again the font is in there. The trouble with it is that it tells people how big the battery is. I've got the smallest battery, I can't...
Thankfully you can peel it off, and then nobody will know what kilowatts you identify with. And besides, with this indicator sound, you'll be far too relaxed to worry.
Price is next, and if you look at the value, I think everyone knows there's a lot of value for these. It's just getting ridiculous. Not only are they not very expensive to start with, for example, look, the new one is, look at this, 44 grand, but as a business lease from £344 a month, right? But then if you look at a used one, I know it's a lot of depreciation, but you're looking at £20,000. I think there's one here for like 20 grand. And that's £288 a month. What car can you get? 449 horsepower, 300 odd miles of range really, and all that performance, and that looks like this for £288 a month. I think if you PCP'd, say, a used one, it's a bit of a no-brainer really, isn't it?
Polestar call this the driver's EV, and it is. In fact, it might even remind you of the kind of connection and handling you might have got from maybe a 3 Series or an Audi A4. Maybe more accurately, an Audi A4. Like the Audi, the materials on the door cards here are hard, and leaning on them for me hurt my poor little elbows. And of course, getting in it, well, being a giraffe at first, it was a little snug. And
as you can see, maybe as we're going along, the suspension is quite stiff, but that's not the end of the world. In fact, from 2024, if you are thinking about getting a used one, 2024 is the model year to get, because they did some better battery things, they did some better motors, and they've made it rear-wheel drive, which means that it can become very playful. And the idea that you've got a rear-wheel drive car that's electric does give you that more, energetic feeling. The fact that you could potentially put it in a bush if you're not careful does make it, again, feel a bit more alive. Call me an insufferable anorak if you will, but I am getting into tyres a bit now. When you get your Polestar, if it doesn't have POL on it, then it isn't an approved tyre. And Michelin are, just at the moment for me, are the best tyres. They change and transform the car. There is another brand that you put on another electric car which does the same as this. And there's an interesting thing, because I did a demo recently with a car that was supposed to have Michelin foam tyres on it. It was a Volvo TA and it had, I don't know, 70 quid tyres on it. It was night and day different. It was terrible. Well done, Michelin. Another round of applause. Yeah, this is a good thing. You've got this for your shopping. I don't know if you've seen that in one of the other 782 reviews of this car. And then you can put something behind that so that it doesn't rattle about. And then, of course, you've got the hatch there, which is purely and simply to remind you of when you used to have a sub and you had to have a little gap to let the air into the car.
A little bit disappointed this one didn't come with a premium sound system, just the standard one, which, if I'm honest, I wouldn't choose. I will be testing the premium sound in other videos though. On the bright side, it does have additional EQ, which will also be there if you choose the upgraded sound system, and that will give you much more control.
Not only does this feel like a normal saloon car, which makes you not think about it being an EV, it feels completely accomplished, like they've been making them for a very long time. Everything, there's no silly bugs, all of that's gone, and there's so much to like. I even like putting my finger in the gear stick, from the smell to the way it handles, the back end possibly being able to go out, the way it looks, the way it handles the battery. This thing's brilliant. It reminds me a little bit of when people were passionate about cars, and it's brought that back a little bit for me. Yeah, come on, you remember passion for cars?
With insurance coming out for me at £396 and no servicing costs, you could argue this might be something that makes financial sense as well as fashion sense. And remember, cars registered before April 2025 will save you from the £620 a year on VED. Oh, there he is. You lost her, mate. No, she was here earlier. Oh no, there she is. Happy ending.